project. Our objective was to assess local knowledge and attitudes regarding sustainable seafood by surveying University of Arizona students and interviewing local restaurants that serve seafood. And our second objective was to provide recommendations based on our research results that would allow for further efforts to educate the Tucson public about sustainable seafood.
So as Ariane said, we surveyed University of Arizona students because we wanted to figure out what exactly they knew about sustainable seafood and what they thought about it. We also went ahead and we interviewed local restaurants to see if they would buy and sell sustainable seafood. For the student survey, we went ahead and we surveyed 205 students in a Tier 1 general education course, picking that course because we wanted to get a variety of majors and backgrounds, and we wanted to figure out their current knowledge, what they knew about sustainable seafood and how it affects their diet and also the environment. We wanted to find out their price point sensitivity, where they would be willing to pay more or less for sustainable seafood. And we wanted to find out their preference of educational medium. If they didn't know about sustainable seafood, would they be willing to learn about it and how? For the interview questions, we created a 8-question interview sheet for local restaurants. We wanted to find out if they sold sustainable seafood, if they buy it, how they get their fish, and would they be willing to sell more sustainable seafood if the population wanted it. So what we ended up doing was we coded the survey data using the Likert scale, and we analyzed students' responses as well as the restaurant responses, and we developed our recommendations based on those results.
So we administered our questionnaire to the students, and one of the questions that we asked them was, what is the most important factor when you are purchasing seafood? Is it price? Is it sustainability? Is it safety? Farm versus wild caught? Country of origin? And what we found is that 46% of our sample said that price was the most important, while only 5% said that they based their decision off of sustainability. We also built into our questionnaire a way to assess student intention versus student behavior. And what we wanted to find out is, was there an intention of students to buy sustainable seafood? Do they want to buy sustainable seafood? And then in turn, are they willing to have a behavior that backs it up? Are they willing to act on those intentions? So what we did was we asked them, given 2 restaurants equal in all aspects except sustainability, how likely are you to select the restaurant that offers sustainable seafood? And based off of their responses, we measured their intention and split them into 2 separate groups. And then we asked them to measure their behavior and action towards that intention. Given 2 seafood dishes equal in all aspects except sustainability, how likely are you to select the sustainable seafood dish that is $15 versus the non-sustainable seafood dish that is only $10? And then we took the average of each group and compared them. And we wanted to know if there was a significant difference between the groups. And what we found is there is. Students that have a good intention to go and go to a restaurant or go to a grocery store that sells sustainable seafood and has those to offer to them, they are willing to spend more money, and their behavior is associated with their intention. We also asked them if they were interested in learning more about sustainable seafood, and if they were, what kind of method appeals the most to them. As Sandy had said, the Monterey Bay Aquarium, they have a seafood watch mobile app that you can put on your phone. There's pocket guides available. Would they like a seminar? If they had any other ideas for us. And what we found is that while 58% of the students said they were not interested in learning anymore, 42% did say that they were interested. So we did find that there is an interest in the population that we surveyed, that they do want to know more about sustainable seafood. For the restaurants, we wanted to assess local restaurant attitudes towards it, sustainable seafood. And so we contacted 21 local restaurants in Tucson, and 3 gave us responses, positive responses, and said they'd be willing to sit down and interview with us about their attitudes towards sustainable seafood. And what we got from that is that location of the restaurant and their clientele and the people that they serve really are factors on the knowledge of sustainable seafood in their restaurant and their practices. For Restaurant A, it was the furthest from campus, and their clientele is really professional. They see a lot of business meetings there. Their prices were the most expensive out of all 3 of our restaurants. And the manager there was very knowledgeable about sustainable seafood. He was very passionate about it. He let us know that he uses multiple wholesalers. He knows exactly how they're fishing, what he's getting, where they're getting it. He had told us he has no qualms about dismantling any sort of a business agreement he has if he feels that one of his wholesalers is being dishonest about how they're catching their fish. He makes sure that everybody that works in his kitchen can identify fish, can check the order, make sure that the origin and where they're getting their fish is what they expect to be getting. And Restaurant B is about a mile from campus. They see a variety of different people. They're located on a street that has a lot of local shops, and so they get a lot of afternoon traffic from shoppers, some students, and they had moderate prices. They don't use as many wholesalers. They use one source from all of their for all of their seafood dishes. But the manager, as far as he knows, let us know that he knows all of the country of origin. He knows that they do rotate where they're getting their fish so that they're not overfishing populations. He did use the term farm raised and sustainably interchangeably, and so there is an indication that people still correlate sustainable with farm raised. And he also mentioned that some of his patrons that have been eating at his restaurant for many years did have a negative attitude once they found out that some of the fish they